Hello students, I'm Dr. Rashmi Borua. Today I have come to you to discuss on change management. So in this particular topic today we'll discuss on introduction to change management. It comes in unit 1 and the learning objectives of today's session will be concept and meaning of change, definition of change, organizational change, types of change and objectives of change. So, students, as all of you know, change is inevitable. Nothing in this world is permanent. Everything undergoes a change. How things get changed in various places. Similarly, in organizations also, we get to see different changes with time and according to the demand of the environment as well as the demand of the marketplace. The organizations who all can change, they can progress and they can sustain. And organizations who decide not to change, it is very difficult for them to progress and sustain, and with time they die out. Therefore, there is a greater need to understand the concept and elements of change. This concept and elements of change should be understood by the organization as well as all the employees, maybe the employer, management, and employees, all the levels of people should understand the concept and elements of change so that they can accept the change and it gives some positive result. So, students, today we'll first talk on the meaning of change. Change is understood as making the form, nature, content, etc. of something different from what it is or what it would be if left alone. Thus, change is visible. How change is visible? Because any organization, anything, say nature of this or the form of the organization structure, something is going on this way, we need to change. Maybe the hierarchy of the top level management will have to be changed. Maybe the position of these people need to be changed. Maybe the content need to be changed. So organization will have to understand whenever they feel the form of the organization, the nature and content need to be changed, they will have to accept that particular change. Change means the new state of things which is actually different from the old state. Say as for example, the production employees was working with the old technology since last 5 years and they are very comfortable with this old technology. But now the organization has realized that the competitors have come up with the new machine. They have come up with a new technology which is a very sophisticated technology and which start giving a very quality and quantity product, or the productivity is increasing in a very efficient and effective manner. So if my organization, we do not accept the new change, we do not accept the new machine, we will be nowhere with very short time. So we'll have to understand that when we are getting a change, we are moving from the old state of doing things to the new state of doing things. Change also means dissatisfaction with the old and belief in the new. See, here I would like to explain that if we all are happy with the old thing, we are satisfied with the old machine, we are satisfied with the old organizational structure, we are satisfied with the old HR policies, then change is not required. But when people working in that organization, they start feeling, no, our HR policies are not good, no, our organizational structure is not good, our machines are not good. When they start getting this dissatisfaction feeling, then they can understand that there are some deficiency in the system and we need to get the change. So dissatisfaction can arise out of perceived deficiency in an existing system to fulfill the required expectations or to respond to environmental pressures and technological impacts. So many times we get to see that just because of new technologies, it is having a very high impact on production. So our competitors have adopted the new technology. We cannot say like we'll just go with the old technology. It will be difficult for us to fight with them. So you will have to now accept the change that yes, the new technology has come for this production process. So somehow we'll have to get this new technology, and it is very important for the members of this organization to understand the importance of new technology so that they do not resist this and they accept the new changes. Change underlies a qualitatively different way of perceiving, thinking, and behaving to improve over past and present. So, whenever we are talking about change here, we are talking about all good changes. The changes which, if we take the organization, adopt these changes, we are going to improve our performance from past, and our present performance or future performances will be better. So here the definition of change. So we can define like change as something that presses us out of our comfort zone. See here, I would like to tell you, when I'm saying myself, I'm running a machine, and this machine I'm running last 10 years. So you all can imagine how perfect I have become regarding functioning of this machine. So it has, I'm in a very comfort zone as long as I'm running this new, existing machine. But when I have realized time has come, my competitors have changed the machine, I'll also have to change the machine. Then I'll have to understand that I'll have to come out from the comfort zone because I'm thinking for the betterment for my future, and it depends on how the people feel. If people feel no, I'm in a comfort zone, I don't want to come out, then of course they will resist change. If the people feel no, I'll have to come out from the comfort zone, otherwise I'll not be able to survive in this marketplace because of the existence of competitors, then they will view it positive way and they will accept the change. Change has an adjustment period which varies as per the individual. So that depends on how nicely the person has accepted the change. And it depends on some other parameters also, as for example, for a person who is say 55 years old, his learning curve will reduce. He will take some more time to learn a new skill. However, the young person who is just 30 years old, his learning curve will be very fast and he can adopt or he can learn a new skill very fast. So for a young person, the time adjustment period will be less compared to an elder person. It also depends on the perception of people. If the person feels these changes are going to give them better result and it will help his individual growth also, then of course the adjustment period will be less. And if he feels organization will get benefit, what benefit I will get, how my salary will increase, it may not increase. So if the individual thinks with all this kind of perception, then the time taken for him will be much more than the previous person. It is uncomfortable for changing from one state to the next, upsets our control over outcomes, because the old machine, all of us we know and we can understand this old machine is giving this kind of performance. However, the new machine may not give this kind of performance unless and until I become expert in this, and due to this I feel, temporarily I feel upset maybe, and due to which I may not feel comfortable to accept the new machine. So these changes, it depends on the how you can come out from the comfort zone, how fast you can adjust with the new change, and how it's a challenge, how you can feel comfortable to take this new challenge. Say these changes can take place anywhere. It can, change can take place in the home front also. Similarly, changes can take place in the organization also. The changes when take place in the organizational, it's known as organizational change, and in this particular period we'll talk on organizational change. So it is the process by which organizations move from their present state, which is undesired, to some desired future state to enhance their effectiveness. See everyone, I have told you, if you are happy with the present state, if your market share is very good, of course you will not feel like changing. So when you feel that no, your present state is undesired, you do not like your present state because your market share is reducing and you want to change yourself to go to the desired future state because you want to enhance your effectiveness. The process through which a proposed change is effected is treated as management of change. See here, I would like to tell you, getting a change is not a big thing. Any person in the organization or any organization can talk about getting the change. What is important is implementing that change properly, because when a top level person get the change, they may not the implementer. The middle level and lower level people will have to implement that change, and that is why they will have to be very particular whether the implementation will take place properly or not. Getting change is a very small challenge, but implementing that change is a big challenge. And if you can do that, then only that particular organization will succeed, and it is known as management of change. So, when we talk about organizational change, as I have already told, we always have to feel that whatever we are doing, the current state, it is an undesired state because our company is not doing so good. So that is why we have decided to get the change, because with the help of change we want to go to the future desired state. Desired state is something where we want ourselves to be there, where the employer of the organization wants to be there, in that particular position. And of course, this transformation will take some time. And if this time taken is very large, it's a very, then it's not so good. So if this time taken is short, that particular organization will be able to do better in a very fast time, and it will be possible for them if every person, every employees of the organization can understand the importance of that particular change. So organizational change requires quite some time to reach the future desired state, and effort on the part of the organization and its members to reach that state, because there are ample chances to revert back to the original state if change is not managed well. So see, I have already told you, getting change is not so difficult, implementing it difficult. And by chance the organization cannot manage that change, they have got, as for example, they have got the new machine. Top level management has decided our machine is getting old, we'll get a new machine. So middle level management have given the order, they have talked to different companies, they have negotiated regarding the price of the new machine, and they have got the new machine. Now that this new machine has come to the factory, and now the lower level employees or all the technical people have come to know that new machine has arrived on which they will have to work. As the top level management have never asked them about changing this machine, they were very upset when they have come to know about the new machine, and that is why they are not accepting this new machine. So ultimately, implementation is not done. This is what we say, that change is not managed well, and if this happen, then sometime it revert back to the original state, which is very risky. That is why everyone will have to understand that change has to be continuously monitored and managed to derive the desired results. So in the organization, there are different types of chains. Usually there are 6 different types of chains. The first one is the evolutionary chains. The evolutionary chains is also known as, it's a very primary chains, and it is the first order change. So here the change is incremental in nature and the whole organization is not affected. Say, as for example, I would like to give you an example here. Say before, say ABC company was making a pickle, and this pickle they make it available in the Guwahati market. So now the marketing department has decided, marketing and sales department have decided that they will make this pickle available in Shillong also. So here only the marketing department and sales department will get affected. Maybe all the departments may not get affected. But say another example where this ABC company, they used to work before from say 9 to 5, and now they want to change their timing from 10 to 6. So all the people working in that ABC company will get affected. So here, but previous example where they're just going for marketing penetration or new market, there only few departments will get affected, not the whole organization. This kind of changes is known as evolutionary changes. Changes that carried out in organization with the progress of time are example of this kind of changes. So this may include different examples like addition to new activities, introducing new products and services, certain changes in the policies of the organization, setting up new goals, etc. So we need to remember that evolutionary changes is a first order change, and here only few functioning areas will get affected, not the whole organization. The second type of change is known as revolutionary or transformational change, and another name of this change is the second order change. So the name itself says when this change you implement, revolution or complete transformation takes place in the organization. Say I had given the example, your office timing has got changed. So this is not only for production department, or this is not only for one department. This is for the whole organization. So you before used to come at 9, used to go out at 5 o'clock, but now it's okay. You come at 10 o'clock, but you'll have to leave the organization at 6 o'clock. So this is like whole organization revolution. It will get whole transformation will take place, and that is why we say this is a second order change where the change is radical in nature and it is carried out in the whole organization. So here we can see that almost all the dimensions of the organization get affected by this change. It is a change where you understand that how the organization works and why. So even there are changes in the vision, mission of the organization apart from the objectives, methodologies and procedures, then we can say it is a transformational, revolutionary or second order change. The organization presents a new look after undergoing this change. So third kind of change is known as unplanned or accidental or reactive change. So here the change had just happened without being planned. So the name itself says it is unplanned. It is accidental. So in the organization, some problem has arisen, some crisis arisen, and when that problems comes, when this crisis come, it comes accidentally. So immediately you'll have to take some reaction. Your reaction is how you cope up that particular problem or that particular crisis, and that is why we say this change is reactive in nature. So it is more so in response to an event or a series of events. The changes are attempted when the demand for a company's product or services registers an increase or decrease, or a problem or a crisis occurs suddenly. So as for example, technological changes, force organization to invest in modern technologies. Say now all my competitors have changed their technologies, and competitors haven't informed us beforehand ki yes, I'm going to change. No, they haven't. But then suddenly I have realized that oh my god, the quality of competitors are so good now. Why does happen? Oh, they have come with the new technologies. So now we are under compulsion that we'll also have to change our existing technology. Otherwise it is not possible for us to survive with the competitors. So a competitor's action might as well force an organization to react in a certain way by adopting a different strategy. So this kind of changes are known as unplanned change, but sometime in the organization we get to see some planned change. So as for example, the general manager of ABC company is getting retired, from first of, in the first of September. So of course we know that 1st of September when he is getting retired, so we need to get a new person in his place. So the HR department start working from before. They can start with a recruitment selection and all from before, so that they can select a nice person who will be well fitted for the general manager position. So this kind of changes is known as planned, deliberate or proactive change. Here the change is carried out in expectations of an event or a series of events in future. Thus change is proactive in nature. Say as for example, GM has already left, then you are searching a person to put in his position. So that's a reaction. The action is GM left, the reaction is you are searching a next person. But in this case, GM is still there. He is getting the retirement on 1st of September. So we started working in the month of August itself, so that we can get a good person who will be replaced the previous GM. So it is very much a proactive action. Here the organization deliberately takes up changes and chalks out plans to bring that change. So the fifth type of change is known as large or small change. Here the magnitude of the change, if it is large, then we say it is large change, and if the magnitude of change is small, we say it is small change. This refers to the exchange of change which can be large, having a greater impact on the organization and the stockholders, and it can be small, having a low impact. So when the change which have some greater impact or larger impact than all the stakeholders, then we say it is a large change, and if this impact is low on the stakeholders, we say it is small change. Lastly, the fast and slow change. The change can be fast or slow based on how soon the organization requires it. Say now, as for example, my machine is not working, it broke down. So if I do not buy a new machine, so my production will stop. So I need a very fast change where I'll have to immediately talk to the supplier who can supply the new machine. I'll have to immediately get that machine and install in my factory, so that my production is not stopped for a long time. This is known as fast change. Slow change can be, say, my boundary wall of my company, it's breaking, so we need to remake the boundary wall. And this boundary wall, it's not so important for us because the security system is very good in my organization. But still I have decided, not today or tomorrow, but maybe by coming month I'll have to finish my boundary wall making work. So this is a slow change. So these are the different types of chains. We know these are the revolutionary change, evolutionary change, large change, small change, and so many. There's 6 different types of change already we have talked. Planned and unplanned changed also. And our next topic will be the objectives of change management. There are 22 objectives of change management, so we'll go one by one now. First one is establish a culture of innovation. So here we can see that if your culture is in the habit of resisting change, every change will be difficult. Say your organization is full of people who have got that habit of resisting the change. When any kind of change, it's a planned change, it's an unplanned change, it's a fast change, it's a slow change, it's a evolutionary change, it's a revolutionary change, but my people have the habit of resisting the change, then it is very difficult for the organization to get the change. Therefore, establishing a culture that's creative and accepting of change is a high priority objective for every change management practices. So top level management will have to see that their organization has a culture where people accept the change. They take it as a priority, that whenever new change will come, we'll have to take it. So if that kind of culture is there, then it's an objective, the change management will take place very easily. Second is establish the principles of change. Here, the change management principles are the lifeblood of your innovation culture. They set expectations to everyone in the organization. We need to aggressively innovate and change. So, innovation and creativeness is very important. If you are innovative, you are creative, the members of the organizations give importance on this innovation culture. They will understand that change is inevitable. you'll have to get the change and you'll have to accept the change. But if the people of my organizations are, do not give importance to innovation and creativity, then they will not accept the change so easily. Then organization will have to face problem. So develop innovative strategies is third objective, where change management is a strategic game. Develop and implement strong culture, communication and performance management strategies are very important. So every members of the organization will have to understand that the organization may come up with the innovative strategies. They will have to make a culture. Their communication should be very good. There should be very open communication from top to bottom and bottom to top also, and there should be some performance management strategies should be adopted by the organization so that they can implement the change very easily. Develop the change leaders. Here we'll have to understand that change is a leadership activity at every level of your organization. Develop your leaders of change. So here I would like to tell you that every employee may not feel comfortable to take the change, but in that case, if we pick up few leaders of all the departments, say two people from production department, two from marketing, one from sales, one from HR, like that, if we pick up few people, we consider them as leaders of change. You convince them first, these people will go and convince other people in the department. That way we can get the change very easily in an organization. Establish the best practices for innovation. In fact, you should have, best practice. Every organization have some best practice, and it is always easier for those organizations who keep innovation as a best practice. Here people are aware that if you are not innovative, you are not acceptive, you cannot sustain in the organization. So they will be innovative, and then change is not a big problem in those kind of organizations. Empower agents of change. So here we'll have to delegate sufficient authority to leaders of change and support them. As I have told you on the fourth point, we'll have to pick up some people who will accept the change easily, and these leaders will go and convince others to get the change. So we'll have to get those leaders, we'll have to convince them, we'll have to delegate some kind of authorities so that they go back to their department and give support to other people to accept the change. Identify change accountability and responsibility. Here also, once that change has been implemented, every person should be accountable by accepting the change, what profit you are getting, what loss you are getting, what benefits you are having, what problems you are having, and accordingly you'll have to give some kind of responsibilities to all the people. So align employee objectives to change. Here it's a very important thing that every organization need to plan to measure all employees according to the change objectives. They will have to set performance expectations with every employee and invite commitment. In fact, the smart organizations, what they do, they make their objectives in such a way so that these objectives are not possible to achieve with the old technology. So somehow the employees will have to accept the new technologies if they want to accept or if they want to give or get their target. So communicating and socializing the change is very important. Many people they resist because they are not aware of the change decision. So every organization should go in a democratic or participative way. They should always communicate what new changes are coming to the people, and if they do that, then the resistance of change will be reduced. Address concern and improve the change. So socialize change with a genuine intention to improve it. Address employee concern and act on valuable feedback. So it is very important because see, top level management will get the change. Usually middle level or lower level or the executives will be implementing the change. So it is very important for the organization to give them importance, to value the feedback that what they give, and if possible according to their feedback, if some modifications are required, top level management should give importance on that. Apply knowledge to change. Here knowledge, we understand that knowledge underpins all change, so ensure that knowledge is levered and improved. I'll have to take some knowledgeable people who can, you know run this particular machine or new machine. So I'll have to give respect to knowledge. Train employees to prepare them for change. See, it is not possible to take all new employees. You'll have to work with those old employees also. So what you will have to do, old employees, they do not know how to run this new machine, so they will have to get some training and development. They should be sent to some training, so where they will get some, you know learning about the new machine. And once they are trained, they learn, they will not have any kind of what you can say, fairness or complex. They will feel confident and they will come and accept the change. So what organization will have to do, they will have to spend money to give them the training. Achieve employee participation in change. So it's not enough to give employees objectives to support change. Change management seeks employee engagement. So deploy strategies to energize your organization around change. So you'll have to go for participative management. You'll have to think for employee engagement. You get feedback from employees. You let them know what exactly you are expecting. You ask them what exactly you'll have to do. Go for employee engagement. They get encouraged, they feel energized, and they accept the change very fast. Create a sense of urgency for change. So here the employer will have to tell employees that if you do not accept the change, then our organization will be nowhere. We'll have to close down our organization. And if we close down our organization, of course, you will not get any salary. You will be kicked out from the organization. So when employees can understand that it's a urgency, it's a crisis time, if they do not accept the change, they will be nowhere. Then they accept the change very fast. So here what is important is building the empathy in your people for the change. So you'll have to communicate to ensure employees are aware of the external forces, that is the competition. It is not the monopoly market, it is completely the oligopoly market where your competitors are playing a big role on your performance also. And if you can make that understand, but to the employees, they will understand it's an urgent need and they will accept the change very fast. Maintain the change momentum. Too often, changes start on a high note and then lose momentum. So keep employees informed and engage on a daily basis. So when the new machine will come first, they will be very hyper, they will learn it very fast and all, then their speed reduces. So you will have to go for daily feedback, weekly feedback, monthly feedback, and so on. Recognize and celebrate the change milestone. So whenever you are getting a new change, the top level management are worried whether middle level or lower level will be able to implement that or not. But say in a case middle and lower level people have implemented it so well, and due to which we are getting very good productivity, then you should not forget to celebrate these small victories. So this small victory celebration will give some positive vibes to all the people working in that organization, and it will have an impact for the future to accept the future changes very fast. Then the manage the performance. So here change management actively aligns with performance management. When the change has come, you'll have to see that who will be the right person to do this work. So you'll have to check the performance management, and if you can do that, your performance evaluation will also be good. Reward agents for change. So what organization can do? HR department of the organization can come up with some HR incentive schemes and all, where the people who all have said yes for the change, they will get some kind of incentives or reward, and people who are not saying yes or not giving good result, they will not get this incentives and reward. So you can positively reinforce people or negatively reinforce people. So ultimately every employees, they want to get some good salary, they have some individual goal also. So if this kind of schemes are there in the organization, employees will accept the change very fast. Next, gain acceptance of change, where launch the change and gain acceptance. You'll have to launch it in a proper way where each and every employees can understand, oh, new thing has come, new system has come, new policy has come, new what you can say, product has come, or new machines have come, and then you can gain the acceptance. So learn from the change. So use your failures and successes to build organizational knowledge. So sometimes it happens you may fail, and you should not be depressed all the time, because your failures will help you to succeed next time. So from your failures also you should learn some new knowledge, and when you will get the change next time, whatever knowledge you have learned from your failure, you will have to take extra care so that this time you don't do all this mistake. And if you can do that, organization can get succeed. Measure the change results. Here measuring the business result is very important. You should have some parameters. With the help of those parameters, the result should be measured, and of course if some positive result come, everyone will get motivated in the organization to adopt this new change and sustain the change. As I have told you, change is inevitable, change is not permanent. So this time we have got the change, next time again different change may come. So change is a long term sustainable strategy. So avoid destroying the future with a change today. So today we are changing this, tomorrow we'll get some other change. So everyone, with this I would like to say thank you to all of you, and we have done all these things today. We know now what is the concept and meaning of change. We know the definition of change. We know what is organizational change. We know different types of change that usually takes place in the organization. And then we have discussed the objectives of change also. So in our next class, we'll be discussing with some other subtopics of change management. Thank you.